Good morning, everyone. Um, I'm happy you're here. I hope you learned something. It's mainly a presentation of what can you find resources, what can you do with resources to help you as a hospitaler or a newcomer. And we will start that. It's a discussion of resources you may not readily find. A lot of resources have been shown on many of the hospital Chatelaine websites. I'm going to show you other resources that can be readily used for newcomers to get more involved in the activities of the SCA. In the SCA, I'm a herald, researcher, and artist in the SCA. I'm not necessarily a chatelaine, but I know many hospitallers, chatelaines in my kingdom. In the modern world, I'm a library services professional, and I've been a researcher for many years. And I like knowledge and information. I will do research at a drop of a hat and talk in length about it. What is knowledge? Why do we seek it? Knowledge is that which is gained um, by knowing instruction, acquaintance of information, um, and other things. In the SCA, we have guides that assist new members in learning about the society and guiding members to pursue activities that are of interest to them. And those guides are known in the SCA as chatelaines or hospitallers, and they're interchangeable in a lot of kingdoms. What do these chatelaines, these guides, do? They welcome interested newcomers to events. The newcomer hears about an event and said, "Oh, I'd like to go." But then when they get there, it's how do I fit in? How do I understand what's going on in the event? That is what a chatelaine, a hospitaller, and by the way, we are all hospitallers and chatelaines because we're all can help these newcomers understand what the SCA is, what the activities are, and who the people with the tin hats and regalia are doing at an event. The hospitallers will show these people what's going on in the activity, who's doing what. Why do the guys with the long staffs are preventing people from getting hit by the fighters? And then also, you're learning about the process of an event from the time it starts to the time it ends at court. And these Charlene's hospitallers guide the newcomer into what's going on in court. And many people that are new are kind of bashful and not sure how to greet a king or queen or baron and baronet. That's what the Chatelaine do, is make them comfortable in being at court, being in an event. And they also loan them some garb so they fit more into the event and they feel more included. They also introduce newcomers to other people at the event, even the baron and baronesses and king and queens, to make them more comfortable with what things are in an event. The Chatelaines also provide a newcomer with an introduction to what the SCA is and what it does. Information about monthly populist meetings so they can come and find out more. Uh, to invite them to guild meetings so they can learn about brewing or dance or scribes working on award goals and other group activities so that they understand what their role could be in the SCA. The SCA is devoted to that research and recreation of art, sciences, combat, culture, and a sense of history. And the list here shows the different kinds of arts and sciences that are involved in the society. So we give the newcomer a kind of introduction to things that they may be interested in. A carpenter, a brewer, an artist, someone who works on garb or play music. And this is part of what we want to show. And this shows you more in depth the kind of activities and arts and sciences that someone could join in. They don't necessarily have to be an expert. It's a process of learning. But it gives you a kind of a understanding of history then and what you can do with history now. One of the resources I put on here, I will have a handout later. I'm revising it at the moment, but I put together a list with the links of each of the kingdoms and their chatelaine URLs so that you can go to each of the kingdoms and see how they run their hospitaller corps, what kind of training they do, and different ideas. And going on these websites, you get more idea of what you want to use in your job as a chatelaine or hospitaller. And there's 20 kingdoms, so there's a lot. I have also, when I was going through these different websites, they have trainer videos, they have trainer handouts, and many of the websites. They also have the handbooks for each of the hospital offices. This is the one from my kingdom. That was done by a hospital who's also a herald in the Kingdom of Anstiora. So these are really good resources to give you a more in-depth idea of how you want to be a hospital. For a new hospitaler, for an experienced hospitaler, it's a good resource. And it's several. I had to make it to several slides. And then there are other resources that you can use. Being a library person, I find lots of resources like this. Internet resources, there's a ton of information out there on pretty much every historical activity in the SCA. And there are many online libraries where you can go and find more resources to enhance your studies of the arts and sciences, whatever you want, from costuming to brewing to carpentry to learning about combat techniques and whatever. And also there are a lot of interlibrary loan services out there that you can go to, public, academic, and special libraries, and find ways of accessing the services of these libraries. Anybody that is a public, city public library, uh, county libraries, state libraries, they have access to the interlibrary loan services. And it's a good, easy way to get a hold of books and materials to learn more about the arts and sciences the newcomer would want to learn. Also, libraries have a vast amount of resources in their collection. Many of those resources and items, including full PDFs of older documents, can be found at libraries. And a reminder, not everything is on the internet. Yes, you will have to go to physical libraries sometimes because some of these materials have not been digitized and put online. Some of the reference sources that you can find is the online reference book for medieval studies. Resource URL is for SCA researcher by a member of the society who just gathered resources from all over the online community so that people can locate things easier. And there's even the SCA Arts and Science homepage, which will categorize all these resources that the SCA uses. There's bibliography out there. There's Google Books, which is the digitized library of resources of books that the Google Books Project digitized so they're more accessible, because many of these books are no longer in print, and many of them are in special collections in a lot of libraries. By digitizing these books, you get access to them. And I have found books that were printed in the 1500s in the Google Books Project. So it's a good resources for learning your history. And then the online world catalog, that is a public catalog for what I use for my work, called the WorldCat. So each of these sources is a great place to start. And then you have digital archives, Internet Archive, the Project Gutenberg, National Archives of London, of England, and many other manuscript databases online. And then as you get into it, you can find online libraries of specialized information for weavers, for artists, for embroiderers. And then many museums are now putting their catalogs online with backup resources of actual archaeological information about certain pieces, extant pieces, including where they were found, what time period, what their dimensions are, and even what the materials were made of. So that's also a good place to go. And in the British Museum, Victoria Albert Museum, Metropolitan Museum of Art in New York, all have access to their collections. There's a lot of manuscripts you can locate and use, and they're all online to be able to be used without too much of a problem. They have archaeological archives, even a project that has digitized copies of the Domesday Book from England when William the Conqueror invaded Britain in the Normandy invasion, the first Normandy invasion, to be exact. And then performing arts references, onomastics and heraldry. One of the things that most newcomers, when they join the SCA, is they learn about how to get your persona name and your device. One of the things that heralds help with is helping them develop their persona and develop their name so that they have a presence in activities in the SCA. And these resources give you an idea of what would a name be in during the time period that you're interested in, the culture you're interested in. And these are really good resources. Scribal resources. Scribe is an illuminator of a charter, award charter, and they put the decoration on the outside rim of the scroll. And then the scribe also, who's also a calligrapher, will put the text in for that scroll, the main text, and then they, on the close to the day of that event where that person is going to receive that award, they put in their name and get it signed by the royal uh, family, the king and the queen, or a baron and baron if it's a baronial event. So this is the good resources, and there's more here. So there's many resources for those who do the awards, and more research resources, many of them that I use myself. And two of those sources, Art Store and JSTOR, are really good places to go when you're doing research for your art and science project, because you can get, if you're associated with a public library or part part of a college, you can download those articles and save them for your documentation paper. So Art Store, it's actual photographs of the different extant pieces from the Egyptian period to the 1700s. So these are two really, really good resources, and it's a good way to find good articles for your documentation. The resource I said earlier is interlibrary loan. Interlibrary loan is when you borrow and loan things from different libraries. It's a what's the word? It's a collaborative effort to share resources without a large amount of cost. So this is a good place. And like I said, you can go to any of your public library, uh, college libraries, university libraries. And if you're a member of that community, you can use the resources through interlibrary loan and get stuff that maybe your library won't own, but another library will try to get for you. And most of those of us in the interlibrary loan try to get something that doesn't cost you, whether it's an article or a book or even a digital uh, video item. Another good things for writing resources for your arts and sciences and stuff that you can show your newcomers is these sources. Google Scholar will give you scholarly journal articles and information that your newcomer can use in his documentation for his naming device, for arts and science uh, paper that they're going to show at an arts and science competition or whatever, or just for their own use to learn more about a historical item. Backbites. There are many libraries in the world, from small village libraries to university libraries, and there are over more than 130 million books. That's a tremendous amount of information on the internet. Not everything is on the internet, because if we digitized and downloaded all that information, it would make the internet slow to a crawl. If you want to know more resources to use with your newcomers, check with your city, county, state, and academic libraries. Ask a librarian for more information. They love a good search question, and they will go to the ends of the earth to get your information to you. And now questions.